Your application to the Commissioned Corps of the United States Public Health Service is built on your desire to be part of something bigger than yourself. You aren't applying for just a job, but a career driven by a calling to fulfill the mission of protecting, promoting, and advancing the health and safety of our nation. As such, to serve as a Commissioned Corps officer, you are required to meet eligibility standards that are different than those of a private sector or federal civilian position. Like officers of other branches of uniformed service, a Commissioned Corps officer is expected to exude professionalism, both personally and professionally at all times. After all, you not only represent yourself in uniform, but the history of those who have served before you and those who will serve after you. Wearing the uniform of a commissioned officer also means you will be viewed by the public at large as a person of trust and recognized leadership. Application to the Commissioned Corps is highly competitive. Your application to the Commissioned Corps must meet 5 requirements listed in no particular order. Most of the requirements are standard to serve as an officer in any of the 7 uniformed services. Please keep in mind one unique aspect of our process. Officer candidates are applying to the Commissioned Corps for the commission as well as to secure a job with a federal agency, meaning you will not become an officer and called to duty until you secure a position. Furthermore, the needs of federal agencies and the Commissioned Corps influence the availability of certain opportunities. The first requirement in the application process is a review of your initial application package. A professional board comprised of current Commissioned Corps officers will review your application materials. During this time, a determination will be made of your entry-level rank should you ultimately be called to duty. Unlike your private sector peers or federal civilian counterparts, a Commissioned Corps officer applicant must meet higher requirements pertaining to medical condition. This second requirement means you must complete a medical exam with specific health and weight restrictions. All federal employees are required to complete a security investigation, the third requirement in the application process. However, please note that Commissioned Corps officer applicants are required to complete a more thorough security investigation in order to receive the higher security clearance needed to fulfill your respective position in a federal agency and/or participate in potential deployments. Incumbent upon those seeking a commission from any of the 7 uniformed services is the requirement for applicants to receive a presidential nomination. As part of this fourth requirement, a list of qualified Commissioned Corps applicants is sent through the Office of the Surgeon General, to the Office of the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and then to the executive branch for endorsement. Please keep in mind that the fifth requirement mandates that you must apply and secure a federal agency position identified on usajobs.gov. Information on obtaining a position will be detailed in later application modules. To look for a position on USA Jobs, you must at minimum be professionally boarded. While the Commissioned Corps is similar to the other uniformed services in requiring an officer candidate be deemed qualified by competitive requirements, it is also uniquely different. Unlike our sister services that are force-managed, meaning an officer is called to duty and then assigned to a specific need-based location, the Commissioned Corps can have additional flexibility. While we do have specific needs for clinicians to serve some of the most underserved and vulnerable populations, we also have a variety of other agencies that use Commissioned Corps officers that influence public health that are programmatic or population-based. To recap, you are seeking more than a job. Your application to the Commissioned Corps indicates you have a passion for service to the nation and a desire to help your fellow man by providing your unique professional talents. As such, the application process for becoming a Commissioned Corps officer is more in-depth than you may anticipate. It's not just a job, it's a calling. You will apply for the right to wear the uniform of a Commissioned Corps officer. Once you are notified that you have been deemed a qualified candidate, you will seek a position in one of the federal agencies we serve. When you are hired by an agency as a qualified candidate or conversion and called to duty, you will become an officer in the Commissioned Corps of the United States Public Health Service.